Hi. So I am in Columbus, Ohio. I'm actually on my way back to Atlanta. And I forgot to record this while I was on campus at the Ohio State University. But a lot of people question why am I an Ohio State Buckeye fan? And, you know, major credit goes to my father, Dylan Montgomery. He's from Mansfield, Ohio. And one of the things that he shared with me, my siblings, and my mom is his love for Ohio State. Now, the thing about that is that there's a different breakdown for all of my siblings. So, like my big brother, my older brother, is a Michigan fan. Yeah, I know. Then I'm the Ohio State fan. My sister is an LSU fan. I know, but she was more like raised towards, in the SEC when we moved from Ohio back to Mississippi. So, but yeah, a lot of people don't understand that, my love for football, my love for sports in general came from my father. And I've shared our history on social media. And so, just briefly, I'll share a little something here. I was sexually abused by my father, and we moved from Ohio, Mansfield, Ohio, when I was about 8 or 9, if I'm not mistaken. And we moved to Jackson, Mississippi, and my mom had to start all over again with 3 children. My father was in jail for what he did, and he was there until he passed away. Now, the thing about that is that the month he died, I was pregnant with Sean, and many of you met Sean on my channel. He's 12, so I was pregnant with Sean, and Sean Sean was one of those babies where it was like. I found out I was pregnant with him after my grandmother had passed, so gave me a reason to live. Then it was, I heard from my father the month of when Sean was born. I heard from him twice. Once he was following up with me because he found out I was pregnant and he wanted to send me well wishes, and we talked about some things. And then I also heard from him again through one of his siblings the week before he had passed away. And so he passed away the week before Sean was born. And so to be here in Columbus and to have had spent some time with one of his sisters in Mansfield meant a lot to me, and it's a part of my healing process in dealing with the negative things that I know about my father and have learned about him. So I'm sharing this because there's something that I'm working on personally about my father that I'm uber excited about, that hopefully I can complete it. Like, my goal is to do it within 5 years. And I started earlier this year when one of his college basketball teammates reached out to me and found me on social media. And how exciting was it that this person found me via Facebook and was able to say, hey, I have some things of your father that I want to send you and share with you. And it gave me a different perspective as to who my father was, and to see that my father was running from a lot of things that was happening in his life here in Mansfield. And so luckily, I'm building a relationship with his siblings, at least his sisters. I have not connected with his brother yet. And I'm excited to learn, more about them and to move beyond what I had to deal with when I was a child. Many people, have shaded me on social media because I'm very transparent about the sexual abuse I went through as a child, and how I'm able to talk about that and move forward. But a part of that healing process is that as I'm growing as a woman, as a mother, as a parent, and just overall as an amazing human being, is that I'm able to deal with that. And I'm able to to know what all of that meant for me and my growth as a person. And so I, many years ago, I forgave him. I think it was right about the time that I heard from him the week before Sean was born. I really forgave him during that time. So that was roughly about 12 years ago. But it was about 3 or 4 years ago when I got a chance to come down and see his sister, who was taking care of his mother, who was my grandmother at the time. And I spent a lot of time with them, and she gave me some images of him that I had never seen, which was uber amazing. And to just really talk to them about their family background and things of that nature. Many of you know that I've shared, especially on Facebook, how my family, there are two sides. Well, there's a few sides to my family, but the Sullivan side of my family, shouts out to my Uncle Otha. I really know a lot about that side of my family because of him. He's like our family historian. And then on the Craft side, Smiley side somewhat, which is my grandmother's side of the family, I know a lot about that family because we have history books. Like it breaks down the family tree down to right when it gets down to my grandmother. So, and shouts out to my aunt Iola Williams, who created all of that information or found out all of that information and compiled it based off of what her and her siblings could come up with. And I feel like I somewhat am probably going to have to carry that torch on for my side of the family, because it stops at my grandmother and then like my mom and her siblings, right, on that side. And then the Sullivan side, I don't really know where it stops, but I'm pretty sure it stops at my mom again. So if that's the case, then what is it that I'm trying to leave for my children as well as my siblings and their kids? And I'm one of those who it really matters to me to know where I come from and what I've been through in order for me to assess where I can go. And I really want to leave a legacy to my kids. And every family has issues. Every family has things that they want to hide and not talk about. But I feel as if me coming forward and talking about what I went through as a child and how I've had to deal with that as an adult, as a parent, and it's helped other people. It's helped family members come forward about certain things. It's helped my mom share some things that she wanted to share with us. It's just one of those things where this is a huge part of my healing process. But back to what I was saying about 3 or 4 years ago, when I came out here to spend time with his sister and his mom, shortly thereafter, not maybe a year or two after she passed, his mom passed away. And it was just like, it was one of those things where if I hadn't gotten a chance to come down here to see her face, to see how excited she was to see me, to see, her reaction to me, her body language, she really couldn't talk because she was very sick at the time. But it's just something about knowing that someone can feel your presence and appreciate you as a human being. And for the Montgomery side of my family, I really want to connect with that side. I really want to make sure that my kids know who they are. And every time I've come, it hasn't worked out to where I could bring either one of my kids, especially my kids that I gave birth to, Sean and Christopher. But it's very important to me that I continue to learn what that side of the family went through, their family history, their lineage, and all that. Like it's extremely important to me. So I just thought that I would just put together this quick little video just to share where my love for college football came from, his sports came from. It came from my father, Dylan, and just to kind of piggyback off of what I said about writing and creating this book about him. My father played for a junior college basketball team that went to a national championship and actually won. And so the story that I keep hearing is that when he got recruited by Southern Miss, if I'm not mistaken, his junior college was in Iowa. Y'all, I could be wrong. I'll figure that out, maybe clear that up later on in maybe another video. But how does a young man like him, a young black man, come from Mansfield, Ohio to Iowa to then get recruited to come to Southern Miss in Mississippi? Like, there's a story there. And like, the more and more I talk to some of his former college basketball teammates, it's some of them knew he was running from something. Some of them knew that basketball was his escape. And so for me, college football, and I've shared this on Twitter. I know I've shared it on Instagram and Facebook, but college football to me is an escape. Me watching it and having my fan experiences is an escape, because I know during the fall, when I usually have seasonal affective disorder on top of my bipolar disorder that I deal with on a daily basis, I'm able to get away. I'm able to look forward to the weekend. I'm able to, find that game that's really going to have me on edge, whether it's the Ohio State University or whether it's Southern Miss or whether it's Alabama, because those are my top 3 teams, and they're all in different conferences, but those are my top 3 teams that I usually root for and cheer for. So for me to learn more about my father and to see who he was as a person and why he made the decisions that he made, and how majority of this that I've learned through this weekend had something to do with mental health. Like, there was no discussion about finding help in, sharing what someone went through as a child so that their spouse could help them. Because I know my mom speaks about that. If my mom had known certain things, she said that she would have made sure that he received some type of help. But it's important for us, especially as African Americans, to talk about these things. Stop sweeping these family issues and secrets under a rug and expecting people to adjust and have a normal life. In this type of America we have right now, it's just not going to happen. Eventually somebody's going to blow up. Eventually something's going to happen again. We need to break generational cycles, and that's where I feel as if I'm doing all of this healing and all of this work on myself so that I can break some of these things that will not affect my children, or that my children will learn from me and my siblings and how we got over certain things and dealt with certain things to move forward. Thank God, me and my siblings, we are all married. We all have children. We're all active in our children's lives. Whether I know me and my brother, we have blended families. My sister, her and her husband, they're high school sweethearts, and they've been together forever. But me and my sister, we talk about these things. We talk about these issues. We talk about things that we notice that we're doing because we've grown in a household that did certain things or whatever. And we're trying to break those generational cycles. And it's important. It's no shade to our parents. It's no shade to their parents. It's no shade to their parents before them. It's just that there are certain things that should not continue going on. And there are certain things that we have to break and that we have to challenge and change for our children. So in order for, when you know better, you do better. And I talk about that in my last video. So it's really important to me that I find out more about the Montgomery side, and that I learn more from my family and connect with my dad's siblings and my cousins. I FaceTime with a cousin on my aunt's phone yesterday. My cousin looks just like me. Why don't I have a relationship with her? Why don't I know more about her? Why is there somebody that lives in East St. Louis that looks like me, and I don't know what her favorite color is, or if she has a favorite college football team? That bothers me. So just moving forward, I challenge you. Part of what Break of Dawn is how I share breaks about my life and how I've dealt with different things. This isn't my story. My story has been changing, and I don't hold on to the negative to say, woe is me. Oh my God, feel bad for me. Give me sympathy. I'm telling you these things because I'm able to see I'm able to look at me in the mirror and say, hey girl, the reason why you're having these issues over here in this part of your life is because you haven't dealt with these issues over here. And I've always had daddy issues. I've always had daddy issues. Like, I was a daddy's girl. So for me to build that part of my life back up, it's crucial in order for me to move forward for the next 33 years that I'll be living. So yeah, I hope you guys learn a little bit more as to why I'm an Ohio State fan. And trust me, I'm gonna have to probably later break down a little bit more as to why I'm an Ohio State fan. But my father was real big in teaching us about that rivalry and talking to us about his love for the Ohio State University and how they treated African American athletes. And I fell in love with that. And then being in the shoe as a child, what am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do? So, but yeah, this is dedicated to my father. May he rest in peace. And thank you for giving me something that has really transformed my life and has given me some type of hope moving forward to deal with everything that I've come across and have literally overcome in life. I thank my father for that, and I thank you, Dylan Montgomery, for everything that you have ever been to me.